Sri Lanka. It's another Decibel podcast at Tabe. And right now I have a face you would know from a lot of gigs, including a lot of the raves. And if you're like a theater fan, another familiar face. It's Nabeel. Hey, how's it going, my dude?
Doing well. How are you?
Jaya Veva. I am Jaya Vaving.
As we should on a Saturday morning.
Saturday?
Afternoon.
It's Sunday.
Oh my god, I've lost track.
I think all of us have lost track one way or another.
I think it's like a hectic week with everything going on right now. So, yeah.
Yeah, and with elections happening not so far away and all that, it's like, nee.
Yeah, like what day is it? What time is it? I don't know. I'm figuring it out.
Yeah, and sometimes when you're so, like, knee deep into the arts and just enjoying the arts and music and all that,
You lose track of a lot of things going around you.
That is true. So let's get to know you. I mean, you the human and the dancer and the actor and a lot of things.
What would you like to know?
Let's start with you the human.
Me as a human. Well, I will talk about dancing and raving. I guess you could say that I have no professional background in it.
Garbage.
I know.
I'm sure you've learned dance from somewhere.
My mom. My mom
No
is an
way.
exceptional dancer.
Bharatanatyam? Break dancer?
Just great at jiving and has a great
Oh.
rhythm, which is crazy. So like whenever we go for a function or with a wedding or just at home, like I think my love for music also comes from my mom. From just all like the hits she would play at home, and whenever she played things at home, she'd just like boogie in the kitchen,
right.
boogie in the house, and it was just really fun to just see that, and then we just do the same thing. So I hope my brothers can dance too. I've never seen them. I assume they should be able to, but yeah.
You're the dance. In the family.
I think I am. And my mom. And I just like took whatever she had and just like added to it.
Here, son. Here's a gift.
Thank you. So she gave me her genetics and her dance moves.
Hey, no wonder he's good looking too.
My mom is a 10.
That's a very cool thing to say. and like you also do theater stuff. Are you like an actor?
So not in a large way, but I did theater for like my O levels, my A levels. I acted throughout school. Thanks to our great theater guru Tracy Halsinger.
Hey, Tracy.
Tracy, you're amazing. We love you. We will miss you because she's leaving the country.
Wait, what?
She's leaving. She's going to New Zealand. So this was her last play she did like last week, which was Water for Kings.
Oh, wow.
And so I acted throughout school, and I acted like outside as well with like the workshop players, as well as with Tracy. And then I stopped for a bit for like 6 years, and then Tracy was like, "I'm doing I'm doing a play," and I was like, "If I don't do this, I would like regret it." So I jumped on board. And I also have like a small movie cameo also in Midnight's Children.
Oh my gosh! Wait, what?
I'm a kid in like trunks.
Okay, look for the kid in trunks.
I'm on it for 5 seconds.
But it's something.
They go like, "That's the werewolf," and it's like me in my trunks.
Woo! Oh my gosh, that's so
you
cool.
might miss me.
Oh my gosh, but I'm talking. I'm next to like a famous person.
You're really not.
Garbage. You're famous. You're a lot more famous than you think.
But yeah, that's my acting background basically.
Nice. What do you do for like work and fun and all that?
For work, I work at a company called Hatch. You might know it.
Oh,
in
the fun
Fort,
place.
The
Yeah,
fun
yeah.
place. So if you don't know what Hatch, this is a little shameless promotion for Hatch.
Shameless,
Hatch, y'all
huh?
need to pay me more for this. But we are a co-working space as well as an incubator accelerator. So basically that means is we work with a lot of startups. They can come in and we help them connect with like funds like USAID or the Bill and Melinda Gates Fund. And we run programs for them and so that they can grow from step A to step B. So that's what, and also we're also a community. We're an ecosystem. We're a startup ecosystem.
Right,
So you can like, we have events there, people are interacting with each other, they're networking. But also if you're like a digital nomad and you want a place to work, you can just come in and just type away. So I am an events coordinator there and that's what I do.
Very cool.
my-
I know a few friends who used to be at yours. Kalina, and I think, was it Mahane?
Karan is still there.
Kal-
Yeah, he's still there.
NFT guy.
NFT guy at Hyperglade. Also a fellow raver.
Oh, I have not seen you rave, Kalina.
Karan has got some moves. So yeah.
More than Jagger, huh?
Mm-hmm.
He's got Nabeel moves.
Close.
But yeah, like you have shown such a lot of love for local music. Like I think I got to know you like last year when I was at an Orange Mango gig, and I was so in awe of you because you're one of the few people who really seem to have had a good time, and you cared about people around you, your spatial awareness, and you know, like you were one of those people who weren't like very invasive of other people's spaces. So that amazing energy, like I kept seeing that at every gig. And then when I saw you at Wasago's rave, that Secret Events, Wasago, same team, and I was like, whoa. This guy really knows how to rave and how to party and not invade people's spaces. But and I love you for that, man. Thank you for just being you and doing that. And that's another reason why I wanted to get you, was because just we always get the artists, we always get the events people, but we never get to talk to like the fans and supporters of the arts. So how did you discover the local music scene?
First off, thanks. I guess I could trace my local ons and goings with the music scene with, I guess, all the way back to the soul. I think everyone starts off with the soul.
Yeah.
It was like 2017, 2018.
Damn, when they were just starting.
When they were just starting off.
Barefoot gigs.
It was actually, the first gig that I went for was at Women's International.
Oh, the charity gig, right?
Was it?
There was one charity gig that they performed
I
at.
don't know, but they were having it there, and I haven't heard of them, and I don't really. Unfortunately, I'm not well versed with the local music scene or even local music. I'm a bit of a coconut, so please forgive me.
No, it's fine.
But yeah, so a friend was like, "Hey, I'm going for the soul gig. Would you be interested?" I'm like, I'm open to trying new things. I don't really go for live music concerts because I don't know any good ones in Colombo. So I went for it, loved it, loved the scene, and have been going for soul gigs ever since. And through them, obviously, came Orange Mango because obviously Uvi
Sarani.
and Sarani broke up. Not broke up, but like they started their own thing. And then I was like, oh, let me try that as well. And I'm like, oh, I love this as well. It's very funky and it's very just like energetic. What you love about a soul is that it's not just one of my favorite local bands, but it's one of my favorite bands, period. I listen to it at least the song, like that album, like on repeat is like amazing. I listen to it like once a month. So they're just beautiful songs that speak volumes. And also when they perform, it's just the energy that they bring to it. It's not just beautiful music that really touches your soul, but it's also like their energy that they have, their stage presence is wonderful, and it's very it's infectious.
Very.
And I think that also contributes. Like people come to me like, "Oh, your dancing is amazing." I'm like, it's also because the artist performing allowed me to do that. because it's such an amazing. Like, I don't dance for just anything. I dance for things that I like and music that I like. And obviously, if you're performing something beautiful, I will
Show your
I will vibe.
appreciation.
I will show you my
like
appreciation,
that.
and this is my way of giving back. If anything, it's like, yes, this is also for me in a way, but it's also like I love it so much that I'm also doing this for you in a way. So yeah, that's a little bit of it.
Ooh. And what would you say are your top 3 soul songs?
Okay, I don't know if it's a Dave song or if it's a soul song, but they haven't released it. But Dave, they posted it on their Instagram feed, but they never produced it. They never released it.
Lightbringer?
It's not Lightbringer. So Lightbringer they've performed, and unfortunately, the
Yeah.
song has never been performed.
Ooh.
And when I first heard this song, it was like 6 o'clock in the morning with a bunch of friends after a long night out, and we're just chilling on the bed. So it's actually Hidayat and Shala who introduced me to the song, and we're just chilling on the bed, and they play this song, and the sun's coming up, and it's gut wrenching. I started crying when I listened to it. So I think it's called Renaissance, if I'm correct. I'm not sure. It's a beautiful acoustic solo by Dave. It's a beautiful piece. So I think that's like one of my favorites. I do love Optical Illusion.
Okay.
And I think Butterflies in Flight. I think it's one of them.
Yeah.
Forgive me if they're wrong, but yeah, they're like my top 3.
Woo. And what about Orange Mango and
I don't
the
know
other artists? No, not tracks, but how do you find Orange Mango and possibly the other artists that you've discovered?
Wild. That's the energy that I get from Orange Mango. It's just like this wild, chaotic energy. Unfortunately, my singular isn't the best, but that's the great thing about Orange Mango. You don't need to know singular to appreciate the music. Because it's just about the vibe and it's about the music, and it transcends language in the sense that, you know, when you have the guys performing on stage, they're just like rocking out. And again, very powerful music, because you have guys who have been in the music scene for a long time and know how to like construct great tracks.
And also, there's this simplicity. And you listen to their tracks, especially the Bow song, the Bala song.
Bow.
Yeah. Like, it's
Yeah.
such a sad song. Like, he brings a dog home.
I think the mom's like,
No.
no.
And
Yeah.
then the bow is sad.
Yeah.
And then he tries to bring the bow in many situations, but the bow is sad because those people won't let him and the bow be. Which is, yeah. And then the Mang Parigya, where where they're going outside and the police are like looking at them like they're strange foreign beings. And are you behaving well? Are you not conforming? What are you doing? So there was that song too.
Sorry I just want to add to that, but when you talk about like there's this theme that I've noticed with a lot of these artists, and there's a very political theme as well. Whether it's
Yeah.
the soul, or it's Orange Mango very slightly, or even the rave scene, which is surprisingly has very like political roots in a way, surprisingly. But I think that's what also adds to these creative
Exactly.
pieces. It's a voice for somewhat change or want for change. And therefore you create a space for expression.
And you need that.
And you need that. And that's what also like raving is also about. It's like creating a safe space and freedom for expression.
What does raving mean to you?
What does raving mean for me? A lot of things. So I'm very new to the rave scene.
But you seem very, very, very seasoned.
Because it's like I got onto it and I'm hooked and I'm just obsessed with it.
And it's like you've been part of this. And so I was there for one of the raves that they threw at the other room. And that night, it just felt like I was in a room of people I've known for many, many, many years, even though I've known them for just like that 1 minute
Yeah.
or 10 days or a few months, like yourself. It just felt like we all knew each other.
It felt right.
Yeah.
In a way, right?
No drama.
No drama. And that's the thing, we don't want drama and we don't tolerate drama. And the great thing about the rave scene is community and building community. And that's what I first realized when I went for my first gig, which was organized by Secret Events and Under the Radar. It was in Kogala. And I wasn't going through like the best period of my life. Like I'd just gone through a breakup and I was like figuring out things. And I reached out to a friend who I hadn't spoken to in a long time. And I was like, hey, would you be interested to go for like this house tour? Because everything that's a house, like I think a Bava tour in Colombo. And I was like, want to go for this thing? And he was like, actually, I'm going down south to Ahangamar. Would you like to come for a rave? And I've never been for a rave. But I was like, why not? You know? So I hopped a bus with a couple of friends who I'd never met before. Had a lovely time, went there, met my friend who's Dhiren, who's a lovely human being, who introduced me.
Hey, Dhiren!
Dhiren, thank you so much for this, because he basically introduced me to the techno scene and the rave scene. And I remember being like, what do I wear? And then like, I think one of my friends just were like, wear what you're comfortable with, but also like, if you want to feel like a slut, dress like a slut. You know? So I just went there, and then I remember this huge journey because the rave was quite a distance away from where we were located. And so we took it was a bit of a journey, and we get there, it's in the middle of a jungle in Kogala.
Wow.
And it's just, there's this lights, and there's a huge crowd. And the music was just pumping. And forgive me to all those progressive house fans. Like I know there's a huge following in Colombo. Unfortunately, I'm not a huge fan of it. I do love house music, but generally, like EDM is a hit or a miss sometimes in Colombo, especially. But this was just like it was speaking to me, and I think there was an artist who Andro had brought down. His name was Pablo Bozi. And I had no clue about who he was at the time, but later on found out he was like this crazy, amazing DJ back in Georgia and Tbilisi, and he's like has played all over. And one of the things I noticed, which I think you brought up earlier, was that everyone was just amazing. And I think raving, and I think rave, especially techno raves, I don't know about other raves, I can't speak for them, but I think techno raves specifically, it's all about community and about creating this safe space where everyone's looking out for each other. Because I remember I was in the front. I'm a front raver. I like to be right up next to the DJ, just vibing. And I remember people coming up like, you want some water? You want some water? And then in turn you would do the same thing. You would go up like, hey, do you want some water? You want some water?
Do you want to sit?
You want to sit? You want to
chill? Do you want me to fan you?
You want to fan you? And you're complete strangers.
Yeah.
And you're just like, you're either getting back massages from someone or you're like fanning them, obviously consensually. Obviously. And you're just vibing. And I think I remember at one point, I was just having my own thing, and I got on the stage, and I was having a ball, and I was dancing behind Pablo, who at the time, again, I didn't know, and like now I look back at it, I'm like, oh my god, I danced behind Pablo Bozi on his stage, which is crazy. And then there was this guy who's part of the organizing team, and he comes up to me, and he's like, you have to come off the stage. And he was like, you're a good dancer, but you have to get off the stage. And lo and behold, it was Andro Musago, who I'd never met before. And then I met him a couple of months later, and he's like, I love your dancing, and I'm so sorry I had to tell you to get off the stage. And I made him like a 9-to-5 gig. And he's like, I'm having this other thing coming up. Would you like to come for it?
What a nice guy.
What a nice guy. And again, it was like through Dhiren. Because Dhiren was always constantly being like, hey, we need to go for these things. It's a really cool space. And that's what I really like adored about it. It was just like the community. And which is why, and what I learned later on was that there is a zero tolerance policy at these raves, especially for any form of harassment or homophobia, transphobia, because again, like the rave space is meant to be a space for expression, so therefore it's also should be a safe space for a lot of communities. Anybody, especially for the queer community as well, that they can just come and just be themselves. Is what I realized. I thought, like, oh, how beautiful is that? And I think that's what also drew me to it, was that it's a space that you can be yourself, but also it's a beautiful space, and that love is being just shared around. And wherever love is, I would like to be there.
Yeah.
I have a lot of love to give, and when I saw that, I was like, why not? how can I not be
Exactly.
here in this space? So yeah.
And that is amazing to hear because a lot of people think, oh, it's all about the drugs and all that. But nah, man, no. It's community and it's just feeling safe to be able to express, to be able to have fun and, not to be judged. And it's good.
Absolutely.
And also, like, if
yeah.
anyone is caught doing anything, out the door.
Out the door. And I think a lot of people have been coming around and be like, oh, so the secret events, which is organized by Andro, or you might know him as Vasago, is his DJ name.
Yeah, we all know him as Vasago.
We all know him as Vasago, and I'm like, your name is Andro? Where's Vasago coming from? Is that like,
You-
is it Andro Vasago?
Wait, your face is not an Andro.
It's more of Vasago.
Yeah, and the mustache. That's a Vasago. Unless the mustache's name is Vasago and he's not telling us.
They're friends on the side.
Yeah.
But and what, because one thing Andro is like always pushing forward is creating this safe space. I think a lot of people came around like, oh, is it just a buzzword that y'all are using? And like generally it could be. It's like greenwashing for a company, or it's like safe washing for a rave. But no, Andro I think takes it very seriously, and I think for a couple of gigs, I think there were some people who were making a couple of people feel uncomfortable. So what he did was like out the door, no questions asked. So it's about creating that safe space, and it's like we don't tolerate that basically.
And it's nice. It's
Yeah.
fun. And so, what do you think of techno being here in Sri Lanka? And slowly but surely. So, what Wasaga told me was in the beginning, it was like just very few people, like lesser than 100. And then from lesser than 100, it grew to 100. And now it's like close to 1,000 people.
It's growing, and it's a beautiful thing to show it, see it just like bring more people into the space, and also just expand at the rate that it's growing. Because I think, I mean, if you ever get the chance to have Andro on, which I highly recommend having him on, because
Part 2 needs to happen, my dude.
Andro, you need to get on this, because he's he's educated me a lot about the techno scene and raving especially. But yeah, I think it started in like Mount Lavinia. I think he was doing a couple of gigs because he was working here, and he's like, I need techno. And then he started doing more and more gigs, and just started bringing in more people. And I think what the reason like techno is slowly growing, because it's also it can be a voice for the voiceless, in the sense
Yeah.
that, I mean, if you look at the history and the origins of techno, like it originated actually in Detroit, in the USA, within an African American community. It was like a city that was like just run down, and it was and this sound of expression came out of it, and then slowly found its way into Berlin in the 1980s, and that's where it like really blew up and really caught on. So I feel like even here, it's a space for people who want to express themselves, and
That's true.
who also want to be free from certain oppressive
Situations and people
and people and
mentality.
institutions and mentality. I mean, if you look at it, for example, in Georgia, techno is used as a form of protest.
Whoa, I did not know this.
Yeah, it's a space that we can, like, a lot of the youth come together, and it's just a space of just freedom and expression. So it's not just about, yes, it is about having a good time and dancing, but it's also about just being yourself, and letting loose and burning calories.
Yeah, yeah. And so this brings me to the question of raver etiquette. Oh, wait, before raver etiquette.
We'll get to that.
Like, okay, so I follow a few people on the gram, and these are professional ravers. Like, throughout the week, they like exercise, do a lot of protein intake, do a lot of multivitamins and things like that, just so that when the weekend comes, they're all pumped up and ready. Do you have a thing like that going on for you?
So I generally do work out in general.
Okay.
I work out like 4 or 5 times a week. I also do a lot of cardio. It just happens to be that it's perfect for raving.
Yeah.
Because it's basically like a marathon, and you need that
Exactly.
energy to get you through it. So anyways, I do recommend it if you are getting into raving. I think having a fitness regimen is just beneficial in general.
Yeah.
But if you want to rave, it'll just add to that, and it gives you that energy. It also just makes you look great when you when you're pumping it, when you're pumping that, as Charlie XCX says. And I think your vitamin intakes are also highly recommended. I think before a gig, we're always popping like a multivitamin because you need that because you're losing a lot of electrolytes.
Yeah.
A lot of electrolytes, and it's a long night, and you're drinking, and you're taking a lot of other things, and you need that energy, and you need to have that balance.
A sustenance.
You
yeah.
need a sustenance. I think I tell everyone, if you're doing raving, like you need to find that balance as well, because it's also like anything too much of a good thing can also be a bad thing. So find that balance. Like, so I rave personally. I do like max once a month or once every 2 months, because you need that time to recover, to re-energize, recuperate.
Yeah.
But if you are doing it often, just like understand how much you're doing it, and keep in mind that your health is very important.
And yeah, that is number one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And go there to have a good time.
Yeah.
And be ready to have a good time. That's also important. And now to that raver etiquette thing.
Raver etiquette is very important, and that's what I love about it. And I feel like I haven't gone clubbing in a long time, in like years. I feel like clubbing is slowly dying out.
Clubbing is so boring.
Clubbing is
it's
so boring.
Cliche.
So cliche, and it's like there are fights breaking out, or
which is so unhealthy
very
and
unhealthy.
unnecessary.
It's a lot of like unnecessary toxic
drama and
energy flowing around.
Like
it.
it's so sad because the DJs and everyone work towards giving people a good time.
It's a shame, and it takes away from that.
Yeah.
So which is why, like you said, when you see me on the dance floor at any of my gigs, I'm minding my own space, because you are responsible for the well-being of yourself, firstly, but also the well-being of others around you. And it's either from how you're dancing, so you respect your space, your personal space, but you also should be very mindful and demure. And just like consensual about how you go about it. Something that's practiced with ravers around the world is something called plur, which is about peace, love,
plur, yeah.
and you just respect you, because you're in a space of love, and also a very vulnerable space, because the other thing about raving is like, it's also you get to wear whatever you want to wear. So it's like you want to wear like chains and leather and just be yourself. Another part of creating that safe space is being mindful.
Yeah.
And respectful. So you need to be aware of how you're treating others, because sometimes I can understand that you might get caught up with the adrenaline of everything, whether it's substances or whether it's alcohol or whether it's the music. I think regardless, you are always responsible for your actions, and you can't always blame it on like something else.
You cannot.
I think
silly.
It's very silly. Silly being an understatement. But basically, you need to watch other people's spaces. Consent is very important. Like when I mentioned earlier, going around giving people massages, you can do that, but within the
ask
zone
them,
of
yeah.
ask them, like, can I give you a massage? And if they want to, then yes. And if they say no, then respect that. I think it's always about respect. Don't ever feel entitled that you can just go and speak to anyone, or you can just impose yourself into their spaces.
Yeah.
I think that's very disrespectful, and also just not cool. So, which is why when you're there, always be mindful. Am I doing the right thing? Am I respecting that space? And if I'm not spreading love, or at least positivity, then I shouldn't be here, and it's not my space. It's not the space for me, because that's what it's all about. It's about respect, space, and positivity. And if you're not there for that, then there's always a bunch of other things you can find. So yeah. And also just look out for everybody else around you. That's another thing.
It's not very hard.
It's not hard. And if you see someone, and what I love about the secret events race specifically, like everyone's looking out for everyone. I think I had a friend who had a bit of a fall at the previous one, and she bumped her head, a bit of a bad fall. I think complete strangers came up to me like, hey, there's a girl outside, we're looking after her, can you like help us out? And I love that, because everyone needs to look out for each other, because we are a community. So you can't be completely selfish. If you see someone who's not doing great, notify someone at least.
Yeah.
Don't just let it slide, because we're all here in it together, and we're all here to have a great time. And I think the smallest thing can just upset everything and ruin it for everyone.
And you don't want that.
You don't want that. So when I say also look out for yourself, I'm like, you should also be looking at and being mindful about what you're doing and what you're intaking.
Yeah.
What's your intake? Like, do I know what I'm taking? Am I aware of what I'm taking? Do I know how much I'm consuming?
Do you know, are you educated enough?
Are you educated enough? And if not, there are hundreds of people there, excluding myself, who will like educate you on it, or just Google it. Don't. I think if you're ever gonna do things like, especially if you're drinking, be mindful of how much you're drinking. Don't ever make it another person's problem.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people end up doing.
Don't
you know?
do that. I mean, be responsible for yourself. Like, yes, people will look out for you, but there's only so much that they will, because they also want to have a good time. So don't ruin it for others, I say always be hydrating, always know what you're consuming, what you're taking. And if you don't know, then don't do it.
It's simple.
Don't ever do things on a whim, is what I say. It should always be premeditated to a certain degree. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's simple as that.
Yeah.
And is there anything you want to add in closing, my dude?
Oh,
wait, before that, who are your favorite techno DJs from Colombo? I mean, Sheen and Masago are part of Colombo. So, sorry, guys, you no longer have your passports.
Unfortunately, I'm not too familiar with a lot of like techno artists. Like the only techno artists that I know are from secret events. So if you want to see good techno artists, come to secret events. So I think Kali is fantastic.
I've not seen Kali.
She has a bit of a story she tells when she plays her sets. She's very exciting, and she's also very diverse in the way she plays. I think Fantasia or Sonora.
Okay.
He's coming up. He'll be, I think, opening up for our next gig, the opening set. So that's like really exciting. There's Andrew, who plays a bit of tech house.
Okay.
Which is really cool. So those are like a few of like the local artists who play a bit of techno, who you should like really look out for. But I really say just like come patronize these events. You're not just supporting the artists, but you're also allowing it to be consistent, to grow. Just showing up and showing face means that you are interested, and that means okay, there is an audience for it, and therefore we'll continue to do this. So the next one will be on September 13th. Please come, please come. It'll be very exciting. Andro has managed to book
a bigger location.
A bigger location, a pretty sick warehouse, which is a secret location. So if you're interested, DM us and we'll let you know about the location. And in addition to that, he's also booked a crazy cool artist. Her name is Noix. She is a resident DJ at Kitty in Tbilisi, Georgia. She's also played in Berlin. And she's also played for a little famous DJ set called Boiler Room.
What?
And she's gracing us with her presence on the 13th. So do come by if you can, which is really exciting.
Hey, hopefully. And thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
And sharing, dude, always. And thank you for the amazing energy you bring. And just keep that going. And here's to seeing you grow with the community and everybody.
Thank you so much.
It was so nice talking to you, man.
Thank you so much. Pleasure. Nice talking to you too.
Hey.